Bitcoin is creating a very important pattern right now here, and on today's update video, I'm exactly going to be breaking down these patterns, what it means for the Bitcoin price, the exact criteria for the Bitcoin bull market to hold up here. I'm going to be talking about the biggest stories in the past 24 hours, about the Bitcoin bull market, why we bounced, and much more will be getting discussed on today's update video. So don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes, and with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So currently Bitcoin is creating a rising wedge here on the lower time frames, and really Bitcoin in the coming hours is probably once again going to create another very volatile move here. I mean, the price is slowly creeping up on the lower side, and then on the top side we are seeing not really exponential higher highs, and that means that we're basically right now trading in a rising wedge pattern, and these patterns could be quite dangerous, especially if we do break the upward sloping support line, because then we're most likely going to fall back all the way down towards the lowest point of this consolidation phase, which is around 76,000 US dollars. But in case we do break the top side of resistance, we could be in for a bigger continuation towards higher prices. So it will be extremely important to watch on how this pattern is exactly going to be unfolding. There are also some patterns on the bigger time frames with this more important downward sloping trend line we're also creating at the same time here. So I am watching all these patterns right now here, and whenever they are going to be seeing a big breakout, you will be the first one to know on my YouTube channel or on my Twitter page. So make sure to follow them on my both. So make sure to follow me on both platforms. Then at the same time, guys, if we're looking back at the previous cycle, we have seen like 20 to 30% corrections, sometimes even 50% corrections, and still the bull market wasn't over, and still we managed to set new all-time highs here. And I think something similar could still be in the play for now here, because we got some very bullish news here in the market. Well, I do believe that, of course, the market, I mean, it's not really responding and showing right now that there is some weakness in the market right now here, because we got actually some very big news here. Yesterday, Binance allowed a $2 billion investment in their company from Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund. And honestly, that is huge. All your money is aping into crypto. It just shows you a sign we're only just getting started. So extremely bullish news here. And honestly, this is going to be reflecting something that in the future, more and more investments through this oil money literally will be made here. So honestly, that is super bullish here. And also Senator Cynthia Lummis said that the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill is right now on Congress government's website. So yeah, we're making slowly and steady steps here on, of course, how to exactly establish a strategy on how to accumulate more Bitcoins in the strategic crypto reserve here for the United States of America. But of course, like we do know here, those things are taking some time here. Then at the same time, yesterday we got some news from the US inflation. It dropped harder than expected, which is of course something very great. And of course, like we do know, if inflation really comes down quite quickly, it could really be followed up by some major rate cuts here. And I mean, currently the Fed funds rate is still sitting quite high here, but the expectation is that in 2025 we're at least going to be seeing 3 more rate cuts. And if that is going to be happening, ultimately that would be something very great for the entire market, because if we're going to be seeing huge rate cuts, ultimately the economy will be heavily stimulated, and that will be sending asset prices much higher, because as there's more money widely available, prices of assets will be rising inevitably. So that is very great here. And also right now, you have to understand, we saw about a 30% correction, but those are exactly the correct type of corrections. They are very normal in bull markets. I mean, we've seen multiple corrections of multiple phases. Here we've seen, what is it, like a 34 to 35% correction. Then here we saw about a 25% correction, or was it like 22% correction? It is very normal that we do get these kinds of corrections in bull markets, and it ultimately is only healthy. And if I'm looking at the daily time frame right now for Bitcoin, I mean, if I'm opening up the RSI real quickly, well, I said indeed, it's very bearish that we are actually not pumping on bullish news here, because that basically shows you people are exhausted. We're also, if we're looking at purely at the chart, seeing that the sellers are quite exhausted. What we're seeing is, of course, clearly a lower low on the chart. We're seeing then a green candle confirming the bullish divergence, because we are creating on the RSI a higher low. So we are seeing clearly that the momentum from the sellers on the daily time frame is and are clearly exhausted. We can see it also happening on the 12-hour time frame, on the 4-hourly time frame. All these time frames, you can see this play out here. And honestly, this is something considered to be extremely bullish here. I mean, ultimately, this could be sending the Bitcoin price much higher. So yeah, I am currently looking at this major monthly support level. At the same time, if I am looking at the liquidation heat map, there is some liquidity being built up around that 84 to 85,000 US dollar level. And really, if you look at the monthly time frame, the majority of the liquidity is still laying around that 100,000 US dollar level, because a lot of people apparently with short positions do have their stop losses over there. So really, if Bitcoin wants to be hunting the stop losses, it is probably going to go back towards 100,000 US dollars, which is about like over a 20% pump towards the upside. Guys, imagine the pump back towards the upside is quite big here. If we're going to go back towards the all-time high, is literally a 30% plus move higher. So it's quite a big move here, if you would ask me here. And honestly, that is why I'm so excited about this correction right now here. Honestly, it has got a lot of structures of an ending bottom formation, and hopefully we're going to see that confirmation. But if we are going to be seeing the continuation further lower, if we then break below this green line here, the super, it is going to be something very bad here. Because last cycle, like you can see above my face here, whenever this happened, it basically confirmed the bear market. So if we break this support level, it could potentially give us the confirmation a bear market has started. And of course, we could be in for some more lower levels. So that is closely what I will be watching. If we break this support, we're probably going to go towards lower levels. And we're probably going to see the market suffer ever so slightly more here. So very important to understand right now here. And then yesterday, we finally start to see some inflows again on the spot Bitcoin ETF here. Is the capitulation over right now? That is at least what we're looking for, of course. The capitulation on the spot Bitcoin ETF is quite bad here. We've seen massive outflows. And yeah, we're hoping to see that this is finally ending and that we're finally going to see some more calm return towards the market. So that ultimately will be extremely bullish. And at the same time, my Bitcoin strategy is still in a profit. So that is doing very great here. Ultimately, my total portfolio is up about 5% here. So that is just ultimately great to see here. I mean, I've got a Bitcoin and an Ethereum strategy. And just like I said here, I was accumulating along the way down here. And now we're selling our positions again here. So the trading strategy is doing ultimately super good here. And guys, and if you right now want to also start trading on Pionex, guys, and use these grid trading bots, there's a very interesting offer right now available if you sign up an account using the link below. Because if you sign up an account and complete KYC2, you will already get a free $50 US. And if you deposit some funds within the coming 3 days, you will get some extra free rewards, which you can see on the chart, right? So make sure to check it out. This is extremely valuable if you're starting to get trading, because you're literally getting some free funds here. And ultimately, guys, if we're looking back at all these major corrections in the market, in every single big correction and in every steep point in the market, everyone was stating, okay, a recession is coming, etc., etc. But actually, those were the periods where, of course, maximum fear was in the market. But at the same time, it was also maximum opportunity. And we did got the Bitcoin ETF approval. Just look back at what the gold ETF did, guys. It is a matter of time before we're ultimately going to be crushing it much, much higher. I mean, we're still very early and Bitcoin is really a long-term play here. So if you can't handle these corrections in the market, I mean, we've been around $9,000 Bitcoin. I've been around with a 100K Bitcoin, but I will continue to accumulate more Bitcoin, even if we go down to $20,000 again here, because I do know it is all about the longer term play here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is ultimately a great asset to hold for the long term, and that is what I still continue to believe in. And I do believe that if we're going to be looking back in 5, maybe 6 years, Bitcoin is going to trade way higher than it is currently sitting, right? $200,000-$300,000. So ultimately for Bitcoin, it is always about the long term play here. So don't get fooled in these shorter term corrections on the market, because those are going to hurt you if you can't handle it. So that is going to be extremely important. At the same time, of course, we do know there's extreme fear in the market, and extreme fear equals extreme opportunity. And then at the same time, we got great news for Ethereum. While this is performing very bad at the moment of time here, the SEC has acknowledged the filings to allow staking for both Fidelity and Franklin Spot ETF. So of course, if that is going to be happening, the ETFs can basically stake their Ethereum and reward their investors. So that is ultimately going to be extremely bullish and attractive for a lot of people holding those Ethereum ETFs here. And that is why I still believe that Ethereum is right now in somewhat of a capitulation zone here. I am still liking this chart here. I mean, it is going in a free fall, but at some certain point, we're going to see a rebound. And especially on the weekly time frame, you can just see we're sitting at an interesting zone right now here. No one wants to get their hands on Ethereum. No one wants to get their hands dirty. But I really do believe that in these periods where the market is, of course, extremely bad here, ultimately the biggest opportunities also occur here. here. So yeah, this was it for me in today's update video. I was a little bit later today. Excuse me for that here. Tomorrow I will be back at the same time here. But anyways, thanks so much for watching towards this amazing new update video. And I'll see you guys again back tomorrow on another one. Peace out. Goodbye.